Ethereum has just triggered something absolutely massive, which we cannot ignore, and unfortunately this could be putting it at very, very low price levels, like potentially even the $1,100 price area. And I want to break this down for you because it's been a bloody long time since we've been down there, and this is a very, very bearish price target, so I must give it its full attention right now. Now, I'm not saying that we're actually going to go there. What I want to have, as usual, is a nuanced discussion about what's going on in this chart so that we can actually really get a good grasp of what's going on with Ethereum, because, you know, the first thing to keep in mind is I always like to see how these coins are performing against Bitcoin. And the fact of the matter is, as I was predicting on this channel, and of course with my own trades, I was expecting Ethereum to lose a lot of strength against Bitcoin right here, which is what we've done. We're now at the very bottom of the support range that I had drawn for Ethereum, but I didn't draw the support range anything accurately at all. And so this support range could have ended a lot earlier, could end a lot further down. You know, personally, I would actually be more inclined to say that we've already lost the support. And to me, that's obviously not an amazing sign. I'm not too worried about it. You guys know in VIP, I bought it up here. I sold half of my stack up here, and I'm still holding onto the other half right now, so roughly at break even from my previous sell and a nice profit from my previous buy. VIP has got all the information about that, and it is at a fire discount right now because of the Bitcoin drop. So check it out following these steps on screen if you want to jump inside. But the thing that I want to talk about right now is where can Ethereum go, because, you know, this market has seen a lot of destruction right now. We're right below the $3,000 area. And the first thing I want to do on charts like this, just to look at them fresh, is identify where are the support levels, right? When we're dropping below areas of support, naturally, we need to find new areas of support in order to get bounces, which can either be, you know, a short-term bounce and then we continue trading down, or it can be a complete reversal. But bottom line, most of the time, we need support levels to do that. And so what I want to look at right now is where might those support levels be. Let me just move this out of my face a little bit because it's kind of blocking my field of view. And what I want to just take a look at right here, bring to your attention, is this massive area of price action right here. And I'm going to talk about the $1,100 target as well. I'm going to tell you guys why Ethereum could still recover, but why I'm actually quite pessimistic, unfortunately, just at the moment. There is a huge pattern here which is groundbreaking. But before we get to all of that stuff, I need to show you the basics. This area of support for Ethereum, stretching between about $1,700 and $1,900, is critical in my opinion, because Ethereum set an all-time high here around May of 2021 and then fell down to exactly this level, not once, not twice, but 3 times before eventually triggering another rally all the way towards $5,000. So this is an absolutely essential area of support, and if Ethereum does come back down to test this area, that would be phenomenal. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it does, it would be absolutely amazing, I think, for the price action. It's also at a relative area of support right now, to be quite honest with you guys. This is how it's actually a little bit unique to compared to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin doesn't really have much support at all where it's trading at the moment, but Ethereum does. And so to me, that's also a good sign. I mean, you know, this is very much an area where we've seen some key reversals. We've seen some nice support hits. You know, this area of price action right here where, you know, Bitcoin in this case topped out at 53k, Ethereum topped out at 4,000. Ethereum fell all the way down to 2,600 on that drop, whereas Bitcoin, as we know from the chart that I had drawn, it already fell below its equivalent of this range, right? Its equivalent of this range was right here, and we are now below that area. So just want to put this on your radar, that Ethereum is actually at the moment enjoying a little bit more support than Bitcoin, but that's only on these kind of charts. You know, when I show this to you on its longer term rising wedge chart that it had, this is actually a really bad picture. This is a chart that I was talking to you guys about a really long time ago, potentially seeing how Ethereum could be breaking to the upside, because these are typically bullish patterns. Actually, I mean, they're typically bearish patterns, but for crypto, they generally tend to work out in the bullish direction. The issue here is we have started to break down now, and you know, when we break down out of a pattern like this, I mean, like I said, generally, not in crypto, but generally patterns like this are bearish. And just to break down why, really what's happening here is that we're trending up really quickly, then we enter what's called a rising wedge, where we're, you know, just kind of bouncing around between resistance and support levels, and we've confirmed this support level quite a few times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and the 5th time breaking down. We only confirmed resistance twice, but that doesn't really matter, to be honest. It's mainly the support that we're interested in. And the reason that these patterns are generally considered bearish is, and this is where we get the price target of $1,100 from, so I'll talk to you guys about that in just a minute. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying this video so far and you're finding them useful, if you've been finding the channel's warnings useful so far, please do me a favor and smash up the likes. I just want to highlight to you guys that literally before the dump happened with Bitcoin, with the whole market, I made this video telling everybody to stop because Bitcoin was fooling everybody and everyone was getting very excited with that little pump that we had, well, I mean, it was literally just yesterday, with Bitcoin and such, on this channel, we were warning you guys about that. And of course, if you're subscribed, if you're taking the bell, if you're getting notified about our videos because you're inside of our free Telegram channel by clicking on the first link in the description, you're going to know all about that. So I just want to thank all of you for showing me that support during this time in this market. We've just passed 120,000 subscribers, which is amazing, and definitely join the crew if you are interested in keeping yourself safer in these markets. Because here's the deal, is that these patterns, they are generally considered to be bearish, because really what's happening here is that we're attacking the market with quite a lot of speed, and then naturally what happens in these patterns is that we lose that speed. We are still moving up, but we're moving up with a lot less ferocity than before. Let me break this down for you again. I like to use lines to visualize what this looks like, and if we zoom out on this chart a little bit and I show you just kind of with normal lines what kind of price action Ethereum was experiencing, previously, let's say with this leg right here, Ethereum more or less fitting this red line of price action, which is absolutely great. This is going to be really hard to show you guys, but I'm just going to keep that line there for now. And then if I draw another line of best fit, just trying to generally show us the direction that Ethereum is moving in, if I could take an average of the price action, that this is what it would look like. If I move these two lines now, you can see pretty clearly that really all this rising wedge pattern aims to show us is the gradient with which we attack the trend. Basically showing us that previously we were moving up very aggressively and now a lot less aggressively, which is a sign that we could be looking to lose momentum and then gradually become even less and less and less aggressive until eventually we just either flatline or crash altogether. And that's basically what this is a show of. This is really important in order to understand how these markets operate. A lot of people don't bother doing this, and that's why they look at price action like this and they don't understand what the fuck is going on. Here I am trying to fix that problem for you. Whereas previously momentum was actually pretty strong, we were losing that momentum, indicating to us that the market is getting ready to reverse. And then of course, naturally that gets worse and worse until the thing just tanks lower. So very important to be able to understand things like this, in my opinion. And that generally leads us to quite nasty drops. And I suppose one of the biggest problems that a coin like Ethereum would generally be facing is that there's not a whole lot of support, because Ethereum actually rallied up really quickly, and then when it crashed down, it crashed really quickly, and when it rallied up again, it rallied up really quickly. It just doesn't have much support. It's just a fact of the market. Again, I'm not here to tell you guys things to scare you or make you feel bad about your investments. If that happens, then you've got some thinking to do, to be quite honest with you. But this is not me just trying to be a scaremongering FUD spreader or anything like that, fear, uncertainty, doubt. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just laying out the bare bones facts, which is that generally between these two price ranges, and I'll drop another two red lines right here just so we can outline these ranges. So we're looking at 2,700 up to about 2,900 here, and 1,700 up to about 1,850 over here. Generally between these two price levels, just take a look at how quickly Bitcoin manages to rally up. I mean, it's no joke. I mean, from the top of this box to the bottom of this one, Ethereum takes 30 days, and it's rallied up by 40%. It's absolutely enormous. It's the same thing in the downside, but in this case, it takes 1 day, and then it takes another day to come all the way back up, and then another 2 days to come all the way back down, and so on. It's the same thing that Bitcoin was in. Obviously, these coins are moving in very similar ways, and if you joined my live stream earlier today, you'll know about that. So again, if you were subscribed, you'll know about what's going on. And by the way, I'm going to be making another Bitcoin live stream probably later today. I might even be doing it with a friend of mine, MDX Crypto, if you know him. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that. I don't know if I'm going to do it with him just yet, but no matter what, it's going to be a very interesting live stream, and you're going to be glad that I bring him on, because if you like my stuff, you're going to like his stuff as well. But bottom line, guys, the point is that this range is usually a pretty quick area for Ethereum, and I think that if Ethereum does end up dropping below this $2,600, $2,700 range, it could be looking at getting a pretty quick drop down towards that low $1,700 kind of price target. But that's not even the scary part. Is if we go back to this chart with the rising wedge and we switch it back onto the logarithmic time frame, the way that we can actually extrapolate a price target is we look for the first time that both lines have been touched right here, which is let me just extend this line outwards 1 sec. which is right here. And then all we do in order to establish where we might be going is measure the drop that happens right here. And so all I'm going to do is just measure this drop in percentage terms. Let me just make sure it is percentage terms. 1 second. I don't want to get this wrong because this is very, very important. Yes, it is percentage terms. We're looking at roughly a 64. It's actually a 63% drop if I drew it correctly. So we're looking at roughly a 63% drop. And so from our bearish breakdown, if we measure a further 63% drop from here, that does give us that $1,100 potential target, which is definitely not a good sign at all, in my opinion. Showing us that we could be looking at quite a significant further drop down. What I'm not so sure about is just where this price level is. This target potentially showing us a crash down to $1,100, which is right here. Ethereum has never really traded around here very much throughout its history. If we go much further back, it is close to its first all-time high in 2018, although that all-time high more specifically was at $1,400. We did get a little bit of a dead cat bounce, which took us to around this range, but there's not much technical confluence around this area, so I don't really think that we're going to drop down there. I think if we do get all the way down here, we'll probably just bounce off the previous all-time high, which was at about, like I said, $1,400. To me, that would be a lot more likely, but I'm just going to give it this range to say that, anywhere in here would be essentially like a golden pocket zone. I mean, this would be like, this would be like finding Ethereum at $1 again. I mean, in my opinion, like that would be a pretty great buy level, and obviously coincidentally, or actually not coincidentally at all, that lines up with Bitcoin's previous all-time high at $20,000. I think that if Ethereum falls down here, Bitcoin at the same time would probably be around that $20,000 area as well. So for both coins, they would be phenomenal entry points in order to buy more of them. Now, like I said, I don't want to like speculate on if we're actually going to go down there, because at the moment this is way too far away. But the rising wedge that we have here is very large, and so naturally we could be looking at something like that anyway, and I just wanted to put it on your radar. Bottom line is that if we are getting a breakout right now, which we are quite clearly, it's not, it's very unlikely that anything good can happen from here. I do want to go over the possibilities of Ethereum recovering, but you're going to see why I'm very pessimistic about that in just a moment. The first thing that I want to do right here is actually calculate the kind of fake outs that we've had in this trend. And again, I just want to bring to your attention that this red line that I have here is fairly subjective. You can draw this in at least a few different ways. I mean, I could draw the support level a little bit lower or a little bit higher. I'm just going to draw it a little bit lower right here. And I just want to measure the fake outs that Ethereum has had right here, right? So from this low where it broke down to the low that it set, Ethereum fell by 7.3% and then recovered back up. So Ethereum has quite a large margin of error when it comes to fake outs. If we look at this fake out that we're in right now, or potential fake out that we're in right now, we're down by about 6%. Now, this is to say that last time Ethereum fell further below the rising wedge than we did on this occasion, and it still managed to bounce back up. So it absolutely could be in a fake out right now. However, that wouldn't line up with what we're seeing with Bitcoin. Now, it does line up with, just the pre-existing support that we know Ethereum is at. So I don't want to throw that stuff out the window. I still think that it's going to play some part in this market, but broadly speaking, because Bitcoin is below its equivalent level, I just don't see Ethereum managing to rise back up. Somebody asked me the question last night, how come Ethereum and Bitcoin rally in the same way? They move in the same way because they're two totally different currencies. And, my answer to that is they're not different currencies at all. They're actually almost the same thing. Obviously to you and I, they're very similar, but they're only as similar. They're very different, but they're only as different as, for example, I'm going to use the examples of India and Pakistan, or I was going to say North and South Korea, but they are quite different. But there's a bunch of Australia and New Zealand, or Czech Republic and Slovakia. I mean, just various different countries like that, where unless you're in those countries, you think that they're pretty much the same, right? You're going to view them in the same way. Finland and Norway to South American are the same country. Like there's no difference between those two countries to someone in South America, because they're looking at it from so far away. Now, that's a really important thing to keep in mind, and that's why I had to blow up the camera right here to break this down for you, because people who enter these markets are not people like you and I anymore, right? Like the people that actually have the money to drive the markets, they're coming from the indices markets, from the Forex markets, from bigger, more mainstream, more well-established markets, which naturally have a lot more money flowing in and out every day. And they are not going to see Bitcoin and Ethereum as different. They're simply going to see them both as very risky cryptocurrencies and not a whole lot more. Now, of course, people are going to do another layer of research into it and they are going to see that they are different currencies. But at the same time, if Bitcoin is unhealthy, generally Ethereum will be unhealthy and generally the rest of the market will be unhealthy as well. I can prove this to you very easily just by looking at the Bitcoin market cap. Let's see if I can pull this up. Yep, the Bitcoin market cap here, and then overlay the crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin, which is right here. And we can see that for the most part, these two, so what this is, this price right here, the candles here are Bitcoin on its own, and the line here is all of crypto minus Bitcoin. And like what all of crypto is worth minus Bitcoin, and you can see that, I mean, they're pretty well correlated, right? Obviously crypto, the rest of the altcoins, they're generally going to have more extreme movements, but if I just draw a bunch of lines on major reversal days, they are very, very, very well correlated for the most part. We do see that like for example, on this occasion right here, Bitcoin is dropping, altcoins to continue to rise, so there are small exceptions, but for the most part, every single key reversal that we see in these markets, they happen at the same time, right? These markets are very, very dependent on what Bitcoin does because Bitcoin is the biggest currency in the space. Just wanted to make that point very, very clear to you. And I think that's why we are seeing, these drops with the market for Ethereum right now. And that's why, even though Ethereum has support, I just can't be too optimistic about what it's going to do with it. As I speak, we're losing even more ground against the Bitcoin price for each Ethereum token. Just generally across the board, altcoins getting massacred right now. Cardano even losing a major support level. And so these are things which I really want to highlight and bring to your attention. The other thing that I want to bring to your attention is what happens with Ethereum generally when its daily Ichimoku cloud turns red. Now, this is the reason that I'm saying it could be quite difficult for Ethereum to rally back up, right? If we take a look at this, right, Ethereum is going to have to move back up now and target this area as resistance, which in and of itself, I think, is going to be fairly challenging, because if we draw a potential resistance box for Ethereum, and we were looking at quite a bit of resistance overhead, between 2900 and 3100, which is a very, very polarizing area on this chart, by the way. And there's a lot of opportunities I'm seeing to make trades here, and I've already planned them out. They're already inside of 𝗪fly's VIP. There's one key point that's already, one key trade that's already inside of VIP that I told them I want to make. I'm finalizing numbers for it still because the market is so shaky right now, and obviously my main goal all the time is to keep my capital safe, right? I don't want to be taking on unnecessary risks, and that means if I need to take time, I'll take time. If it means that I miss an opportunity, best believe I'm going to happily, with a massive smile on my face, miss the opportunity, because I want to make sure that I keep my money safe. It's a very, very important line of thinking, which has kept me so well protected at times like this, where a lot of people, they go into moves like this and they just come out absolutely destroyed. And I mean, the last time that something like that has happened to me was probably 2018, right? We're talking like 4 years ago now, and that's because I've learned those lessons very, very well. And if you want to see the result of that, if you want to be able to watch me trading in real time, then click on the first link in the description down below. Then on the @𝗪flies button at the bottom of any post inside of 𝗪flies Gold, and then send message to ask me how to join 𝗪flies VIP, and I'll get you all of that information right now. My assistants are online, so if I don't get back to you, one of my team members will, and we'll get you all the information about how to get you inside of VIP. Now is definitely the time. At a time like this, with volatility like this, now is when you would want to be in a group like this for sure. And not only that, but you're also, most people who join are going to be getting completely free access into one of my courses, my 𝗪flies Academy courses, where I teach you everything I know about trading, everything I know about analysis from A to Z, all bases covered, nothing compromised on at all, and then you can watch me implementing those very same strategies and so on in real time as well. So it's a very, very powerful package. We've completely transformed traders around. We've made and built new traders from the ground up as well with this package. There is a lot going on, and all you need to do to find out what's going on with your huge price discount, because we price it in Bitcoin, so there's a huge price discount. Click on the first link down below, @4flies button at the bottom. This link here will take you to this page. Click on the @4flies button at the bottom of any post inside of 4flies Gold, and then click on send message. If you don't want to join, just the first link here will take you to my free channel, and you can get more analysis from me and my team completely free of charge. So if you like this stuff, you're gonna love the Telegram stuff, so definitely take advantage of that while you can. Now the other thing that I want to show you on Ethereum's chart is what generally happens with its Ichimoku clouds, which is also potentially going to become problematic for Bitcoin. Right now for Ethereum. Now right now it is quite far away, but if Ethereum does continue to drop, we could be seeing this cloud dropping a lot more towards the beginning of March. I know that's really far away, but it is still important to keep in mind, and one of the key indicators, one of the key signals that the Ichimoku cloud can give us is almost like a death cross when we get a green cloud turning into a red cloud. Generally, when the green cloud turns into a red cloud, we're looking at quite a substantial drop coming in for Ethereum. I think this is really important to keep in mind, because if I show you one particular chart, which is actually quite scary, you're going to notice that Ethereum has consistently dumped after its green cloud turned into a red cloud. Now this is a very, this is a lesser known way that the Ichimoku cloud works, and I'm just very lucky to have somebody on the team who's literally, I think he wrote his thesis in university about the Ichimoku cloud. So really cool guy. He knows it way better than I do, and one of the things he's pointed out to me right here is that we've seen when this cloud turns bearish, generally around that time, just about 16 days prior, which is where we are right now. I know this is a very cluttered chart, but you'll understand this, is that every time we saw the cloud going from green, you can make out the green right here, to red, we saw quite a substantial drop. On this occasion it was 22%. It usually was 22%. It's scary actually. 16 days before this right here, where it turned red, we saw another 22% drop right there. On this occasion we saw a 12% drop. I know it's very hard to see, but the analysis is already done, so just take my word for it. And on this occasion we saw a 24% drop, and we are potentially looking at something similar right now. So just wanted to bring that onto your radar right now. Not only has it turned into resistance, but generally this is an indication that flashes before the market is about to drop a little bit more. When did it turn red? Just out of curiosity, it was about 14 days ago. And if we trace this price action back about 14 days, we are looking at our open price was at about 3,400, and from that price level to now we're already down by 17-18%. So to be fair, there might not be a lot more left for Ethereum to drop, and that is actually a pretty good sign. So I am glad to see that, but of course, just seeing the carnage in this market, there's no knowing when this can stop, and obviously I think so much of this is dependent on what Bitcoin does, and as I speak right now, Bitcoin is shitting the bed once more. So if Bitcoin's going to be performing like this, then it is, I think, genuinely going to be quite difficult for altcoins to stand strong as well. So there you go. I wish I could tell you something more optimistic, but I can't. Ethereum looks like it's in a really weak position. Even if it rallies back up, there's resistance overhead. It is in a little bit of a support range. I don't want to stop paying attention to that. But again, as we're in that support range, just take a look at this. The market rallying quite a bit now, moving in some quite meaningful ways. And so the Ichimoku cloud on the 1 hour time frame is going to come back into play. The Ichimoku cloud on the 4 hour time frame has already firmly come back into play. And so even if we get bounces, this is what I think is really concerning, is that even if we do get bounces right now, they're probably going to be met with resistance pretty quickly. And so you do with that information what you can. What I know though is that you can actually help yourself out by signing up to Bybit using my link in the description down below, and you're going to get some free money for it. So if you want some extra free cash deposited into your account, if you want to buy some shit coins while they're dipping right now, you can do that on Bybit by signing up using my link in the description down below, and then getting your $4,100 completely free of charge. Depending on the size of your deposit, you're going to get a bonus obviously, but it depends on the size. And if you do want to take advantage of that, then of course you can buy coins with it. Whatever profits you get with those coins that you bought, you get to keep those profits. You can withdraw those profits, so that is real money, and you only have to sign up using my link and make your first deposit. And this works if you've already got an account. If you need to, you must use a VPN as well. I can't endorse that, but of course I've done it many times myself. And if you want to jump inside the group and watch me trading in real time, then of course the steps are on screen right here as well. Thank you all for watching. Like I said, video on Bitcoin coming later today, possibly even another live stream, so stay tuned for that. This is a busy day for me right here, and I'm going to keep on giving you guys content as I can. So take it easy. I'll see you all in the next one, and yeah, make sure to hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. I'm out. Bye bye.